people just tuning in don't know me, but my name is David Hamm, 25-year NASCAR engine builder, and recently retired 2 weeks ago. And I also retired from being a jackman, I guess 15 years ago, but I did that for 7 years. And then before that, I was a dealership technician and owner of Hammscapes Landscaping Equipment Repair. As you can see, I've got a lot of tractors and mowers around my shop. But yes, retirement from NASCAR has been very different from me because I'm so used to being on that regiment schedule where you get to work at 7 in the morning. So now it's kind of like I can work any shift that I want to. So I've been working in my shop at night, some during the day, and I've been out mowing, that kind of stuff. So it's been different, but I'm still a huge Ford fan. I'm still a huge Roush Yates and Roush Yates engines. I'll always be a fan. They're always in my heart. My brother's out there at Roush Yates engines, so I'm always going to put for Ford. I bleed Ford blue. See that? Okay, that's red, but anyway, my veins are blue. They're Ford blue. All right, so hello, Sarah Baker and Linda Jinks, Rachel Rodman, and Terry Quinn. I'll tell you what, between Rachel Rodman and Terry Quinn helping me get all this set up and sharing posts and everybody for joining in, I want to thank y'all very much for doing that. I actually just got home from the radio about 20 minutes ago. I was on WAME. If you hadn't heard of us, WAME 92.9 and 550. There's my Good Day Mate shirt for the Chillbillies. So that's something I do on, I guess, well, I would say on the side, but now I'm sort of doing that as a part-time deal. So for the old Chillbillies. So if you don't know what that is, a country radio station. We have bands come in twice a week. Actually, Wednesday nights, Little Toe and Frankie have bands come in. But it's 92.9 and 550 WAME. Check us out on Facebook. Look up the Chillbillies, and that's part of the group that I'm in. We do a lot of charity work and different things like that. So pretty cool stuff to me. I have a good time with it. All right, so let's dive right into the race. So we had all right, so one thing I want to mention. Last week we had Thomas Hatcher join us from Team Penske, and he's the front tire changer for the 22 car. And he joined in. So I was going to, if he joins in again tonight, we all need to tell him we brought him good luck. So he was able to win that race because of the luck that we brought him. I see Beerman's joining in, Scott Trevison. Beerman, you recognize this shirt? I think you got one hanging up in your beer cave, right? So if y'all don't know Beerman, a lot of times he's with me, but when he's not in Florida, but he spends a lot of time down in Florida on his boat and whatever he wants to do, which is really nice. I wish I was down there. If y'all can't see, well, you can't see. Here, I'm going to show you what it looks like outside right now. It is raining. It is swampy. It is moist. It's pretty bad. Pretty nasty out this evening. Yes. What's up, Brian Spencer? So if you don't mind, everybody mention where you're watching from. I know Brian Spencer, Pennsylvania, Scott Trevison, Daytona. Anyway, put it in the comments where you're watching from. That way everybody can know. Everybody else will know what's going on. All right, so the first finishing order of the race, this was the Firekeepers 400 at Michigan International Speedway. And Joey Logano finished first. Kurt Busch finished second. Martin Truex third. Daniel Suarez fourth. Kyle Busch fifth. Brad Keselowski sixth. Kevin Harvick seventh. Ryan Newman eighth. Ryan Blaney ninth. And Alex Bowman 10th. And it's actually surprised to see Kevin Harvick finished up there because he had a lot of issues during the race. But that would be, I didn't add this up. I'm adding it up right now. That'd be Ford's. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Ryan Newman up there in 8th. 6 Fords in the top 10, which is pretty dang impressive. But, Michigan's our Michigan's a really good track for the Fords. And then we had in the Toyotas, we had let's see, Martin Truex was one, and Kyle Busch. All right, Truex and Busch. Those are two Toyotas. And then in Chevrolets, we had Suarez. No, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. Uh, Kevin Harvick. No. All right, I'm going to go to my next list because whenever I get over to that, I've got one Chevrolet in the top 10. Okay. Joey Logano was dominant from the pole, leading 163 of 203 laps in overtime and stage points. The champ's second win of the 2019 season and 23 of his career. Very, very good. And Joey Logano was a stage 1 winner. Austin Dillon was stage 2. Joey Logano, stage 3 winner, of course, and the final race winner. So the odds makers picked Joey as a 7-1 compared to Kevin Harvick, who was 4-1. And though Harvick did not win, he was Logano's strongest contender throughout the race. So tech inspections after the race was one unsecure lug nut for Suarez and also for Chris Buescher. And so what I'm going to do now is go by lap, but I'm going to kind of breeze through these. Denny Hamlin slides down the inside. This is lap 1 to take the lead from the pole sitter, which he didn't stay there very long. Lap 11, Clint Bowyer tells the car it's too loose. During competition caution, Harvick struggles with adjustments in the pits, loses 7 spots, dropping him to 8th. Also, Jimmy Johnson and Matt Benedetto clash in pit road, causing damage to both cars. Truex Jr. flies into 3rd, now battling Gano and Hamlin for the lead. So lap 40, you got Harvick reporting a loose wheel, an unscheduled pit stop coming in for number 4. Lap 40. Lap 44, Kurt Busch slammed the wall, exiting turn 2. Turn 2 last time around. We will have to check right rear damage next stop. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but Logano wins the race off pit road. Harvick says the wheel now feels worse after the change. I don't know what was going on with Harvick, but it was almost like he had some loose wheels or something going on. Or some loose suspension part. I don't know, but he still finished good considering having those loose parts. You know what? The best news of all was Joey Logano winning the race and dominating in the backyard of the Ford. So most cars pitted for fuel to make it to the end of the stage. 9 cars stayed out, including the leader, Logano. Wallace will have to restart to the rear to serve a penalty for changing lanes prior to the previous restart. Let's see. Let's go down to lap 126, where green, stage 3 is underway. Logano and Elliott on the front row. 3 wide in the second turn. Harvick takes the lead. Big trouble for Clint Bowyer in turn 2. He spins and slams the outside wall with major damage to his number 14. Now, he hit a ton. I think it was Darrell says he wrecked again or something like that. So lap 133, green flag. Harvick, Truex, Larson, Almirola, and Logano lead the pack. So debris on turn 2 after Austin Dillon makes contact with the wall. The new leader was Joey Logano, drives to the inside of turn 1 and takes the lead from Harvick. And another thing I remember hearing Waltrip saying was how if Logano doesn't win this race, there's going to be something wrong because he had a dominant car all day long. Brad Keselowski led back to the lead lap, working his way up to position 18. So then we ended up going to Eric Jones spins down in the grass in the field, chasing Logano, causing a break, heading for the shootout at the end. It went into a NASCAR overtime. Top 5 on a restart were 1 through 5, Logano, Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, and Alex Bowman. Logano won it. Like I said, it's his 23rd career win for the 22 car of Logano. So I got more to go over. I'm going to go over some of the point standings. But if y'all have any questions, anything you want to comment on, of course, I wasn't at the shop Monday. You know, I did text the guys and tell them congratulations and good job and have a biscuit on me and all that good stuff. Anthony, my buddy Anthony said last night that they did happy birthdays this week, and it wasn't the same without me, which was kind of nice. Kind of bittersweet, I guess you could say. yes, set the video to turn 4K. Oh, so yeah, go on and I think this is what Suzette's talking about. I just posted a video this morning of us in the North Turn restaurant, and actually I went looking while I was down in Daytona. This couple of history that Daytona Holly Hill, which is the area where Smokey Unit's best damn garage in town is located, and I'm pretty sure I found the spot, but there's no monument or anything saying that that's the spot, which sort of surprised me. And I wish that they could have maybe recreated the garage. If you think about it, the garage is very instrumental in the history of NASCAR racing, for sure. So Ryan Clark here from Grand Rapids, Michigan, hometown of Johnny Benson Jr. That's right. I remember Johnny Benson he raced in the ASA series, and then he went on to race the, what was that? He drove the Pennzoil car back in the day. So, and he said, was at a race Monday night. Had to sneak into Victory Lane and celebrate with the team in poor performance. Very cool. So you need to tell us some more about your experience there, because that's good information right there. And Suzette said, wanted to say thank you to you and Tracy in Daytona. I really enjoyed your video on turn 4. Okay, that was the one we were that was awesome. Hope y'all had a great trip. Yeah, we did another video down in Daytona. So I pretty much basically, I've got a series of videos on here. It's called What to Do in Florida. And so, because we went over to Destin, and then it ended up coming back to Daytona, and then I did a NASCAR chat live from Ormond Beach, which was right there north of Daytona. I think they said it was 9 miles north where the racing happened. Anyway, they raced motorcycles and stuff there and cars. That was sort of where it started, but I believe it went on down into the Ponce Inlet, was where the final race was, right there in the North Turn restaurant, which me and Scott and Jana and Tracy went to. A really cool place down there, but you'll see all that in the video. Sarah Baker says, no more shop tours. But, oh, yeah, sorry, you come in and got a shop tour from me. I think a couple of times. But, yeah, no more shop tours. Maybe now I have to have a shop tour when I want to go see the guys, I suppose. Maybe Doug will let me come in and walk around. I think probably so. Rachel says, please see Linda's question, David, about the rumor of Roush Yates closing the race shop. I hope not. We need strong Ford teams. Yes. Okay, Rachel. I don't have Tracy here to read the questions to me, but oh yeah, that's right. Sarah met Doug and got her. Did you get your valve cover signed? I'm trying to remember. Or you got a picture? I think it was already signed. That's what it was. You got a picture with it because you won that valve cover, Sarah, and that's something I don't even have. So if you'd like to sell it to me, hint, hint. Okay, I'm just kidding. I know you're not going to sell that. That's a hot commodity right now. That's what a lot of people are wanting. I actually meant to get it's up in one of my containers. I meant to wear my Pennzoil hat tonight. It's got my signatures from Todd Gordon and Joey Logano and Doug Yates. Oh well, like I said, it's up there in a container somewhere on one of my shelves. All right, so Linda Jinks, David read on Twitter, is a rumor source. Roush Fenway is seeking to sell all assets at season's end due to funding and performance. A long-time team is closing its doors. That is news to me. That's the first time I've heard it. So I'm not sure. I don't want to even speculate either way. You know, I mean, Roush went from having 4 strong cars, 10 years ago. Then he went down to, I believe, down to 2 cars, and Roush Fenway, and he also closed the Busch or the Xfinity Series car program. So maybe that was the first one to go, and now the Cup Series. I don't know. It's just, who knows? If you find something out, let me know. Come back on this video and comment to me later. Oh, Happy Harvick wasn't very happy after that race. So Scott, what was wrong with his car? Did they ever say what happened with his car? Was it a loose wheel? It would have had to have been several loose wheels in that case. Sometimes what happens when you leave a wheel loose, it'll mess up the studs so that anytime they run lug nuts on, it's not really tightening up on the studs. I don't know. Total speculation there. Okay, so Sarah says, no, I had already had it signed by Joey and Doug. Yep. Oh, I wanted you to buy it. Oh, I'll tell you, say they'll buy that. Tom Robinson, guarantee you. I don't know where he's at tonight. I guess he didn't get the memo, but usually he's chiming in. He might be working tonight. So Ryan Scott says, happy heart as a happy. Ryan Clark, typical, I think he meant. How much of the Ford GT Le Mans program is coming out of Mooresville? The engines definitely come out of Mooresville over at the other Ralph Shakes engine shop. I actually took and put 4 or 5 crankshafts in those engines before I left for the Le Mans race. So I guess any of those GT cars you see racing at Le Mans, I actually put crankshafts in. So that'd be kind of cool. That's something I've never done before. But we had a little bit of a slow week on an off week, and they sent me over there to work on. So definitely different. Aluminum block, 6 cylinders, pretty cool pieces, squirters, the side bolt. I mean, it was really neat engines. They've got all that stuff figured out over there. There's no doubt about that. So, all right. So then we'll go on to. Yeah, there's more than one shop, Sarah. Engine shops. We have the huge machine shop that's growing every month. I would say it grows even more. And then we have the shop where they do the GT Le Mans stuff out of the Mustang engines. I'm not sure what series that is. And then we have the Ralph Shakes Cup shop, Xfinity and trucks, some trucks. All right, so in the point standings after the Michigan race, Michigan International Speedway is first place in the points is Joey Logano. And then we have Kyle Busch, which fell back to second place after being in first. So that's a good thing. And then we have Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott in fifth, Martin Truex Jr. in sixth, Denny Hamlin in seventh, Kurt Busch in eighth, Ryan Blaney in ninth, Alex Bowman in 10th, Eric Almirola in 11th, Clint Boyer 12th, Daniel Suarez in 13th, William Byron in 14th, and Kyle Larson 15th. Jimmy Johnson rounded out the top 16 in points. All right, so I'm going to tell you how many Fords are in the top 16 in points, and then I'll tell you how many are in the top 10. Ford, 7 in the top 16, and I'll go ahead and tell you the top 10, 4 are Fords. All right, so in the top 16 in points, 7 Fords, 6 Chevrolets. Okay, and those 6 Chevrolets are third, 14, 15, and 16. So it sounds better than it really is for Chevrolet camp. Toyotas, there's 3. You know, the big 3 Toyota cars that we have. And in the top 10 in the points there's 4 Fords, 3 Chevrolets, and 3 Toyotas. So that's pretty good odds for the Fords still. Somebody fell back just a little bit, but got some good tracks coming up. I think we're going to be just fine. And apparently the power's good. You know, the team over there is always striving to get more power. That's one of the things that Doug Yates is really good as a leader. He gets us all fired up about finding more power. And so they go after it and they find it. Yep. So Keystone Corner, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. So the Michigan Post race, TobyChristie.com Facebook page said, where SHR has been a dominant team in seasons past. In fact, all 4 cars won races last year, but 14 races into this year, none have won. None have won, which is really surprising that SHR hasn't won a race yet this year in 2019. There's no doubt that they're going to, but it's just a matter of when. So we'll see how that shakes out. So Toby also shared a tweet from American Business Journal. Adam Stern telling in the tweet that Boyer and Suarez contracts are up at the end of 2019, and Almirola's sponsorship is up at the end of 2019. So Kevin is the only one who appears safe. It doesn't mean the other 3 will be sent packing, but it will challenge to bring all 3 back. So will they get sponsorship? Will they keep the drivers? Will they change drivers? Will there be shakeups? Will there be crew chief swaps? Who knows? I mean, they're running good. They're running up front. They're just not sealing the deal, so to speak. And we were talking about, Boyer wrecking again. It seems like there's Tom Robinson. What's up, Tom? It seems that, he wrecks. I don't know. He doesn't seem to finish the deal. He could run up front, but he's just not finishing out. And I guess the same thing could be said about Almirola, and Harvick's the closer, but I think this as a team that they got some things to work on still, but they'll get it figured out. So in practice at Michigan, SHR cars were the fastest with all 4 drivers in the top 5, but their first win is yet to be seen in 2019. Truex failed Cup pre-qualifying inspection twice. His car chief has been ejected, must pass on 3rd try to get to make the qualifying lap. All right, so Penske Racing picked up their 599th win. I'm sorry. I want to say that don't sound right. Their 599th pole, because last year at the Christmas party, Roger was saying something about 500, and it was, I don't know, got down to the end of the season and we kept winning races. So, all right, Penske picked up their 599th pole when Joey Logano earned first starting spot at Michigan. This is NASCAR and other forms of racing for Penske. Okay, there we go. The other forms too. All right, so Michigan International Speedway is Ford Performance's house. So check this out. MIS Monster Energy Cup Series wins by manufacturer. All right, Ford Motor Company has 38 wins at Michigan. Chevy 26, Mercury 12, which would have been way back, and Dodge, which would have been a little back. They had 9 wins. Toyota had 5. Buick 4, which would have been back before 94, I think, when they got out, or 93, something like that, when Buick last got out of NASCAR. Or was that Oldsmobile? All right, Pontiac 4, Oldsmobile 2. So if you combine the Mercury wins with Ford's wins at Michigan, they have 50 wins. All right, so my buddy Tom Robinson here, he gave me an idea one time. He said, you know what, I like the old crying towel that Jimmy Spencer used to do. So Ryan Clark, win number 529 for Team Penske at MIS. All right, 529. I was thinking that did not sound right. Okay, because I remember, like I said, at the Christmas party last year, he said 5. We had just won 502 or something like that. All right. 599 polls. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So Tom Robinson brought up to my attention, and he liked the crying towel that Jimmy Spencer used to do. And so I was going to do instead of crying towel, I was going to have Hamm's 101 Racing. And then I'll get to Rachel's question here. And all right, so I'm sure y'all probably heard by now. Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch and Martin Truex, they all said that Joey Logano jumped the restart, but NASCAR reviewed the final restart, as they do every restart with their 4 angles. They have cameras on the restart zone, and there were no issues on the final restart as to whether it was legal. Okay, so what I say, my little Hamm Wisdom 101 is, what was it, Martin Kleenex Jr.? I think maybe that could be his new name, because when he don't win, he needs a crying towel or a Kleenex, as you can say. But what I say, you know what? If you can't beat him, you know what? Be happy for him. He won the race fair and square. He took off and left you. You know what? So be it. Then you could also learn from him, because Joey Logano, I would say Joey Logano is probably the best guy on restarts. So if you want Joey to be anywhere on a restart, you want him to be either on the outside or the inside road, because he's going to take off and he's going to leave you. If he's behind somebody, he gets caught up and he has less likely of a chance of winning the race, which has happened to him many times this year. He's finished second, third. But when he's out front and he takes off, gone. That's it. Hamm's Hanky. I like that, Terry Quinn. That's a good one. Yes. All right. So Scott Travis says steamed oysters at Hull Seafood. So where is Hull Seafood, and how come I didn't go there, or did I go there? You took us to someplace, Scott, and I want to go back next time I come down there. I want to go back to that place you took us to. Yeah, Hamm's Hanky. We need to write that down because I need to remember that for next time. So I got my organic coconut water going in right here. I spent the past, let's see, I did this radio show at 4 o'clock. So it was like reading the whole list of live music and everything else going on in the States. So I'm getting a little parched from all the talking. All right. Oh, so Greg Irwin, crew chief for Paul Menard at 9 o'clock with Claire B. Lane, Sirius XM. Yes, Greg is a good friend of ours, and I need to go see Greg again. Last time I saw him, he came. Let's see, he come to the shop pretty good bit, but he gave me a hug and he said he missed me. You know, he missed the good days, the good times we had out at Sapco. We actually roomed together in Japan in '96, so that was an interesting trip. He was a fresh engineer just out of Clemson University, kind of knew everything, and whenever I would say something, he kind of had that. But you know what? He really matured a lot once he got in and got around the guys and like Scott Trevison. We got him conditioned for the way you need to be in NASCAR. And that's not a know-it-all, because when you're green, you're growing. When you're ripe, you're dead, as Felix Sabatis always said. But yeah, you have to tune into that, as well as go and watch my video from when I went to Daytona and looked around for the NASCAR history and then racing in general history. A lot of motorcycle racing on the beaches of Daytona. And I'm going to do another video of the farm there is at Scott Beerman's place. He's got a really nice farm, and I think it's something like 20 acres or whatever, but there's there's cows and deer and all kinds of animals. And I'm going to put together a video. That'll be my next one that I do. And I'm going to pop it on here, and I'll put it in the folder that says what to do in Florida. All right. Yeah, Greg likes Coors Extra Gold. Oh, you know what? The last time I saw Greg was at the Christmas party, and the Penske Christmas party. And if you haven't seen that video, I've also got that on here. I'll try to pop it up here or there. It's the Penske. Last year, we had a big party in downtown Charlotte, and it was pretty cool. All the drivers were there. Talked to Joey, talked to Brad. I actually met Roger Penske for the first time I'd ever actually met him. But it was a 3-story party for Penske. And I put a video on my YouTube. You just have to go find it. And it shows the whole speech that Roger Penske gave, the whole speech Joey Logano gave. Ryan Cindric's dad was there, and he did a what the heck? Anyway, he did I don't forgot his first name. Anyway, he did a speech too. So Tim Cindric, okay. Anyway, so that's go on there and check it out. So try Miller Lite. Rachel says try Miller Lite instead. We need to support Mr. Keselowski. Yes, that is true. I actually got some Miller Lite. I bought some for my family reunion this past Saturday, and I bought a whole case of it. It's in my refrigerator. Scott, I'm waiting on you to come home, and I'm going to give you a Miller Lite. All right. I know you like racing, so I think that. Oh, you're a funny guy. You need to come home, beer man. You know, because I need your help programming this. I'm just kidding. Does everybody remember these things? So I sent one of my friends. He's an EMT paramedic. I sent him a message today. I said, "Hey, can you get me some scanner codes?" And he said, "Just get the phone app. It's a scanner phone app." I was like, "Really?" I just found 2 scanners that I've had for many years, and I was like proud, man. I was like, I'm gonna be able to scan and see what's going on. See what's going on around here, old school. But there's phone apps for doing that. Because I had some ambulances go by this morning, or fire trucks or something. So, oh well, I don't know, Sarah Baker. Oh, because I just posted it about 3 hours ago. So I still need to. I think I shared it on my NASCAR Country page. If you haven't seen NASCAR Country on Facebook, go on there. Terry Quinn does an awesome job of taking care of that page and posting stuff about NASCAR and the drivers and some of my videos and things like that. All right. I do have a nice Brad K banner in my shop. Let's see right here. All right. Thank you, Sarah Baker. I appreciate all your help and support. Look at that banner that Tom Robinson gave me. And Sarah, I probably got a few things for you that I can share with you. So I'll look and see what I have, because there's some things. I've got a little box. Get ready for Tom when he comes down here in a couple of weeks, actually. And I'll have to tell you. I'll send you a message about what I'm going to tell you about there, Sarah. Yep. So yeah, that's one of my favorite banners, that Brad K. It seems like I have another one somewhere too. Yeah, I have another one over there. It says "Welcome Race Fans," but you can't see it right now. It's underneath the shelves. All right, so we went over to the Michigan Post race, the Crying Tale. So Joey Logano, there's just a stat. Joey Logano ended the longest pole to win drought in NASCAR Cup Series history, and I didn't realize this, but with his victory in the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway, he is the first to win from the pole since Martin Truex. Now don't tell me I'm gonna get hiccups. Since Martin Truex did last July at Kentucky. All right, there. Here you go. Good job, Joey. Sarah Baker says I have something you can put in tour shop. I have two. Only need one. That's what I'm talking about right there. So that's what I have. I have stuff that I have several of, and I can probably hook you right up. Yes, absolutely, Terry. You and y'all do an awesome job. You and Rachel with getting all this stuff set up and sending me notes and posting on Facebook and doing all that good stuff. And then the NASCAR Country page is happening. You know, people go on there and see the pictures every day, and they really enjoy it. So check it out, NASCAR Country on Facebook. So we're going to go to Sonoma now, and I'm going to throw out a little quiz here in just a few minutes too. But I'll go over some of these. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw out the quiz right quick. All right, this is talking about Sonoma. NASCAR, what year did NASCAR run its first race at Sonoma? And who was the driver that won the inaugural race? And I'll tell you, he's a guy that I keep in touch with. I text him every once in a while, and he was always a good road course racer, no doubt, and short tracks. But he won some big tracks too. So he was just a good all-around driver, and one of these days he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame. All right. Tracy's actually working tonight. She had to work kind of a shift and a half tonight. So, all right. So everybody think on that quiz, and I'm going to read this question. David, my real name is Patrick Jinks, by the way. I'm Linda's son. I don't know if you saw my question above, but I was wondering what you thought about the drivers that are moving up from iRacing and other sims. Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that, Patrick. Okay, so what I say about that stuff is, who was it that there's one of the drivers now, and it seems like it's one of the kids that drives. Rachel knows this one. I'm pretty sure Rachel knows this one. She's the one that told me about it. Hey, Thomas Hatcher joined in on us. Thomas Hatcher, the front tire changer for the 22 car that won this weekend. So, Thomas, now that you're on with us, I was just saying how we brought you luck last week. So now you got to tune in every week so that you can win a race. All right, how's that sound? But no, Thomas, the answer was not Ernie Irvin. But that's a good guess because he fits right in that same time frame. But the answer to that question is Bubba Wallace. No, he actually doesn't drive anymore. Yes, he doesn't drive anymore. So Sonoma Raceway, just keep thinking on that a little bit. My other question was, what year did they run their first race at Sonoma? So Sonoma Raceway, formerly Sears Point Raceway and Infineon Raceway. See, when I went, it was always Sears Point, and then it changed to Sonoma. So, yeah, because I was located on the land known as Sears Point in Sonoma, California, and they have some really good wine and such. Yes, Terry Quinn got the answer. The answer to the impossible question is Ricky Rudd. He won the inaugural race at Sonoma. and I'll get to what year the first race was. Well, it was in 1989. All right, so the first race in 1989. The road course has 12 turns on a hilly course with 160 feet of total elevation change, and it's a 2.52-mile track. And I will say, at Sonoma or Sears Point, whatever you want to call it, I feel like I'm yelling because there's rain coming out here. But the only way I can get a signal right now, because I have DSL, I'm actually using the feed off of my phone because it works faster than my DSL. So I feel like I'm yelling over the rain. So yes. Oh, what I was going to say was that over in Sears Point, it's like you're sitting there on the pit wall. You might have 2 or 3 stops, from what I remember. It seems like it anyway. But it totally gets quiet. I mean, the cars disappear, they're gone, and then it's just like, okay, nap time, and then here they come again. And then you have this one area called Gilligan's Island, which I don't know if they still have it. Thomas can probably answer this, but I'm sure he hasn't had to go and pit from out there, at least not in a long time. But that was over what they call Gilligan's Island, and that was almost like pitting on the backstretch. And they pitted backwards, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like Watkins Glen style, pitting backwards. All right, so there's my little spiel about that. Okay, so and Scott Drefson, how about Cole Custer's coleslaw Custer's win? You talking about last week? Yes, pretty sure that's what he's talking about last week. That was my last Xfinity engine. I don't know who I had this week for Michigan. It was one of the Penske cars, but I don't know as far as what I had built. So, Ryan, that's his actual crew shirt. He got on pit crew before Roush 18. Oh, I'm sorry. If I'm not answering your question, I apologize, because usually I have Tracy here or Beer Man, and they could read me the questions because I just get to rambling. But yeah, this was one of my actually the last shirt I got on the Coors team. I believe this was 2000. Scott can probably answer that, but I'm pretty sure it was in 2000. And Sarah Baker, have you met Thomas? Because Sarah is a huge Team Penske supporter, and Thomas changes front tire changer on the 22 car. And she runs a Team Penske page on Facebook, which is a really cool page. Okay, well, he's on here with us, so if you got any questions for Thomas, throw them out there. You probably met him at the track, or you probably seen him inside the shop. So Ryan Clark says, David, RIE is still working across the street from the old RPM shop. No, they're actually in the old RPM shop because they redid the floors. They moved machines in. I'm not sure what's going on across the street. I just know one of the students from NASCAR Tech ran into it one day and knocked a big hole in the wall, because I remember seeing the news crews out there doing all this stuff, and then they were repairing it. It's still owned by the Yates family, as far as I know. But yeah, the old Robert Yates Racing Shop and RPM shop is now a machine shop. And I'm telling you what, they got all these Haas machines in there, and I think it's kind of like that's Doug Yates' baby, because I don't know, he puts a lot of time and effort into it, which is really smart, because they make stuff for top secret stuff. I mean, not engines. Well, they do make engine parts, but what I'm saying is they do stuff for aircraft parts and whatever. It's all, it's a really cool place. And they have those, the Ford head, shoot, I got mine blank, but they're selling these Ford heads in Summit Racing magazines. Anyway, they're in there too. I think that Tom knows what I'm talking about. Yes, I did. I crewed for Kyle Petty in '95. I did the pit sign, and then grabbed the tires and pulled the hose and all that kind of stuff. And then in '90, pit setup and all that. '96 is when I turned my scanner off. I'll let it know. '96, I started as a jackman. So I jacked for Kyle in '96, and then Sterling came along. No, Robbie Gordon came along in '97, and then halfway through the season we switched over to Nemechek in '97, and then hold on, I'll be right. So, so here's one of my old shirts, but I do have a Bell South this is a classic one. It's actually a 2000 pit crew. But I do have my Bell South Racing uniforms also. So, like I said, one of these days I'm gonna do a video of all my Bell South. I mean, of all my fire suits and uniforms and stuff. All right, so back to the '97, I switched over to Robbie Gordon. We did like a A team, B team swap because Robbie was kind of running his mouth a lot and getting out of the car and walking away like he didn't want to drive anymore, you know, things like that. So we ended up switching teams. And then Sterling come along in 98. So I jacked for Sterling in 98, 99. And then I had my shoulder surgery. And in the meantime, too, I was jacking the Bush car for Nemechek and Sterling. And 2000, I ended up coming back out of retirement and jacking for Blaze Alexander in this WCW car. And then I jacked for Sterling, which is where I got this shirt, part of the season, because the guy that they had got to take my place ended up having some knee problems. And then 2001 was my last year as a jackman in the Bush Series. Okay, so Scott says Sonoma is one of the beer man's favorite racetracks. You know, that's one of the things when we get out to Sonoma, and we would see the Coors Light banners at all the gas stations and hanging on the fences and everything else. Terry Quinn, a question: what is Haas demo days? Did I say demo? I'm not sure what that means, Terry Quinn, but I think what I was saying was they have Haas CNC machines, which is computer numerically controlled machines that make parts. Like anything that you want to make, I could make this harmonica. I could make every little piece of this with a CNC machine. It's pretty cool. You draw up the program, put it in, and then just put it in. All right, so Scott, I don't know if you're asking me this. I think you're probably asking Thomas. Did you ever put the car on Gilligan's Island? There is no more Gilligan's Island. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure about that, but it makes sense. All right, back to my list here. Yes, tell Greg Irwin we said hello. Tell him we'll miss him. We'll come see him sometime soon, and you can tell him I retired from NASCAR. All right, so back to the the capacity at Sonoma is 47,000. Broke ground in 1967 and opened in 1968. The surface is asphalt. The track's original name was Sears Point Ranch, founded in 1850. How about that? Which is the track is now built upon. Okay, so until the track can find a new corporate sponsor, it is simply known as Sonoma. The owner, Skip Bird, sold the track to Bruton Smith Speedway Motorsports Incorporated in 1989. First qualifying, Mark Martin, 92.807, was on May 3rd, 1997. Race, Ernie Irvin. I'm not sure what this means. This is, I don't know. I printed this out. Race Ernie Irvin. I must be the fastest race time. 80 average speed, I'd say, of 81.412 on June 7, 1992. The most wins and top fives, most tens, most starts, most poles, most laps completed. Most laps are all records held by Jeff Gordon. How about that? Jeff Gordon was the man on the road course racing. Because I went through the times when Jeff Gordon was racing and him and Earnhardt were battling and Dale Jarrett and, you know, all these. Ernie Irvin was out there, but all right. Gordon is the only NASCAR driver to have a three-peat there. All right, nearly 4,000 sheep on the property provide lawn care. That's what I need to get out here on my property. I need to get some sheep. So drivers who complete the race, which is 110 laps, will make a total of 1,100 turns. How about that? That's all the notes I got. But hey, it looks like y'all having a good conversation with Thomas. So everybody, meet Thomas, tire changer for the 22 car. glad to see you have a win this weekend, my friend. And so, hey, Hemscape Sheep, Thomas, thank you. That's good. I like that. Yeah, so pretty much everything around here is, it started out as Hampstead. And then whenever I started my landscaping business, it was like, my wife actually came up, pretty sure she came up with it. She's like, Hamscapes. I was like, you know what, that seems better. So I switched everything over to Hamscapes. I call my creek Hamscapes Creek, which is probably overflowing right now. But the good thing is it's way down the hill from here. I would kind of show you. I guess I could show you if I can do this without messing things up. Okay. Now that it's getting a little dark out. All right. So there's my house. The creek is, the creek is way down there. All right. It's way down the hill. One of these days, maybe I do have videos on here showing the creek. And I actually have golf cart videos where I'm driving down to the creek. So y'all go on and check those out. They're kind of interesting because I find all kinds of arrow points and things. Actually, you know what? Some of them right here if y'all want to see them. So down at the creek, I found this piece of pottery. Pretty cool. Native American. And I found this right here. How about that? All right. Probably one of the coolest ones I have is this right here. All right. So anyway, I find them and I put videos up. I got all these pieces of church and different things going on. So David and Thomas, have you ever tried driving around a road course racetrack? A friend of mine tried it and had a ball. No, I have not. I think that would be a good time. It'd be something that if somebody come along and said, "Hey, you want to drive this race car around this road course?" Heck yeah, I do it at Charlotte because it's closer, you know. So it's a good question, and hopefully I answered Terry's question earlier. David, I have the Keystone Corner. I have some news for you. I have a ride sometime later in July in a street stock at Stanford Speedway. If it all works out, that is awesome. And I'm sorry I didn't dodge your question. I forgot to get back to you. And I think I messaged you or you messaged me one day. I told you anything you want to do, follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you any different. So when I wanted to get into NASCAR, I knew I wanted to be a jackman and I wanted to get into NASCAR. So I like eat, breathe, sleep, you know, the whole what you hear, NASCAR. Like I was reading Stock Car magazine, Circle Track magazine. I learned everything that I possibly could about cars. I was taking, I went to college for working on cars at a dealership to be a dealership technician. I was taking starters apart, rebuilding starters, alternators. I'm telling you everything on the car except bodywork. I learned all that I could learn about them. And then as soon as I got the opportunity, I jumped on it. I got into NASCAR, and then I learned everything I could about machine work because that's where I went into the engine side of the deal and machining. And then I decided, well, I'd already knew I wanted to be a jackman before I got into NASCAR. I was going to the gym and working out 4 days a week. And so, I already had the strength, I had the speed. So it just kind of everything just fit, and I had Beer Man go out there and drive the car for me and let me practice in 95 so that I could be ready. And then as soon as Mike Ford left to go over to Robert Yates Racing, that was my chance. I went to the Daytona 5. I actually went to the Gatorade 125s or 150s. I can't remember what they were. Races on a Thursday in 96. And they said, all right, we're going to put you out there. And if you do a good job, then you're going to be our jackman. And I did it. So anyway, back to my point. Just go for it. If you want it, go for it. But you got to really want it. And, nobody can stop you. All right. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Scott was saying, please, let's take a moment today and reflect on 6 years ago, Jason Leffler, rest in peace. Absolutely. That was a sad deal. I remember that. But anyway, congratulations. I get Patrick. All right, I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any more questions. Way down yonder in the pawpaw patch. I guess you're probably talking about my creek. Yes, it is way down there. So a lot of times, I jump on the golf cart and go. So I got a couple of different ones now. Yep, nice arrowheads. Thank you. All right. So, is there any more questions? And here's the deal: if you've got any more questions, you can go back on after the video stops. You can go on and comment, and also make sure you click like on this if you don't mind. That would be great, because then YouTube will put it out to more people whenever they see there's interaction and people actually like it. If you like it, and so more people can get involved with us, and we can make more NASCAR race fans. Maybe make it more interesting for them. Any questions that you have for me, you can pop them on here, and ask me a question, because I get notifications to my phone, so I will definitely come on and respond back once I get the notifications. And also, don't forget to check out Tom Robinson. Hey, how about, I see a set. I'm going to point at him. I see a set right there. I got like 2 or 3 sets of headers in here. That's my little engine run stand. Is that right? Yeah. So anyway, but I need those to run on engines. But I get it. There's an inside joke there, I suppose. So David, are there any? Okay. Are there any drivers from smaller teams that you have met that you would wish would get more recognition? You mean? Oh, yeah, of course. Can't forget Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher won a championship for us in Roush Yates 5 years ago, I think. Into that, send me a message and I'll tell you where it is. And anyway, so yeah, Chris Buescher would be one. I would say he'd definitely be one. And somebody else, I'd like to see David Reagan. I'd like to see him get in I'd say a higher scale car, just to see what he could do, because he won at Talladega a few years ago, and he's got a lot of potential. He's got a great attitude. He's good for fans. He's a good spokesman for NASCAR. All that kind of stuff. So he's got a lot of common sense. So I'd say those two right there. But I think Buescher, being the younger one and just more up and coming, I think he's got a good future ahead of him, and he's a really good driver, sort of underrated. So, and that Ryan Preece has sort of been looking good. I don't know how he did at Michigan, but I mean, he might be an up and coming guy that I think is going to do really well. Yeah, I do too, Tom. I said I hope he comes back to Ford with his contract up in 1 year, like Chris. Yeah. So whenever I had, yeah, you're right. I agree with that. So I had Buescher on the radio show, and I was asking him about. He was just getting ready to switch to Chevrolet, I think it was. I said, "Are you going to come back to Ford?" But of course, he couldn't, answer that. I talked to him off. I was talking to him before the show on the phone about it. So anyway, all right. So Fox is starting. Scott says Fox is starting to interview drivers from the smaller teams pre-race. All right, good. That's what they need to do, because that's the future. That's the future in NASCAR. So you said, Ryan Clark says, you said you're in contact still with Ricky Rudd. I saw he's been doing some go-karting and in Virginia, but he keeps it a pretty low profile. Yeah, he doesn't do any of the social media stuff. He actually, last time I texted him, I invited him to come to Statesville for one of the things we were doing, and he sent me a picture of his, what do you call his boats, Scott? Boats that land on the water. I forgot what they're called. Anyway, he sent me a picture of those. He was somewhere up. I know he's got his kids in college, stuff like that. He's around. He just keeps a low profile. He was actually at GoPro Motorplex. He goes over there sometimes. He goes and rides his mountain bike, which is something we were supposed to get together and do. He rides his mountain bike over at Lake Norman State Park. So yeah, he still stays pretty active. Goes down to the Whitewater Center every once in a while. Yes, I noticed the ones like Ross Chastain and Gray Gaulding and a guy named Jordan Anderson. Yes. Yep. So I think we've been on here about an hour now, so I'm pretty close to wrapping up. Yeah, if you don't mind hitting that like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, because every Monday night I do this NASCAR chat, And if you turn on that bell notification, that way when I go live, you'll see it. Turn on notifications on your phone. That way when I go live, you can go on and join us, and you can talk about NASCAR, the sport that we love, the sport we want to keep going. And so I know Tom's going to be down here in a couple of weeks. Maybe he can stick around and do the chat with me. Wouldn't that be fun? And Thomas Hatcher, one of your off weeks, if there is such a thing anymore. Well, I guess next week. Maybe you could come and join in with me sometime. So that'd be really cool. Oh, yeah, it was funny when Ricky would come to the shop with Larry Lackey there. Yes. And last time I saw them together. So if you don't know that story, where was it? Richmond? I should know this. I think it was Richmond. And Ricky was driving the Haviland 28 car, and he was running his mouth a lot about engines and that kind of stuff during the race. And Larry Lackey punched him. Larry Lackey's a friend of mine. He's a good friend on Facebook, but we worked together for many years. He ended up punching him, and then Ricky Rudd threw a water bottle at him and hit him, and I don't know, cracked his nose right there, and it was bleeding. But that you could probably find that on YouTube too. But yeah, so but last time I saw them together was at Norman Kazumishu's memorial service, and then Ricky walked over there, and then Larry, they kind of like sparred up like they were going to fight. So they're good. They're friends now. I mean, that was a long time ago, but that's one of those classic stories in NASCAR that makes it interesting for sure. All right. So thank y'all so much for joining in. Check out my other videos. Look at my last one that I just put on about the racing history in Daytona. I'm going to try to put the card up here or over here so you can go on and check that out. And everybody, hope y'all have a great week. You can join me tomorrow. I'll be on the radio from 4 to 6. And then on Friday, I'll be on the radio from 4 to 6 on WAMEradio.com or let's see, WAME Radio on Facebook. And you can go on there and tune in live on the TuneIn app on your phone, or you can watch us on Facebook Live. We'll be on Facebook Live. Look up the Chillbillies page, WAME Chillbillies. And then you can watch me live. We'll have music in. We'll have Down the Mountain Friday. And tomorrow we're going to have Isaac Hickerson and Cody Ward will be in with us tomorrow. So good music, good times. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And yes, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Don't forget your father. Spend time with them. I think that's mostly what they want. So I've been spending a lot of time with mine. Thank you, Thomas, and congratulations again. And you have a great week. And tell the guys over there I said hello. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you. I may not do it next Monday because we got an off week. So we'll just kind of play that by ear. But keep an eye on Facebook, and we'll let you know when I'm going to do it. All right. Have a great weekend. The rest of the week. Bye.